And I'm recording as well. All right. So, welcome to our Adore Your Core program. It's a program that I had the privilege of completing as a teacher a few weeks ago. And Roz actually reminded me yesterday when I was chatting to her, she's like, "Oh, is this that program that you said was, you felt like you'd done hundreds of crunches after you each day?" And that was just such a good reminder to me that because when I'm reviewing the poses that we'll be doing, they're very simple and very slow and subtle. And if you're not paying attention, you might kind of miss the point. The goal here is to kind of geek out on each movement, on each breath, in such a way that you're going to be switching on deep core muscles that you might like skip over when you're doing other workouts. Oh, I see Daisy and I see Stephanie. I'm letting you in, girls. You're coming in. I'm just giving this little intro to everybody. And so, yeah, so you, even just after today, this first session we're going to do, which is really very gentle and very calm and easy. But I want you to be hurting kind of by the end of it. And if you're not hurting by the end of this, you're going to probably be hurting by the end of the day if you're continuing to apply these little techniques as you go through your day. The benefit is in the longevity of the work as opposed to just doing 1 hour right now and then it's like, oh, check, I can check the box of my exercise. So before I go any further, I would love for each of you to introduce yourselves so we know who's in our group. One of the ladies who is missing because she's traveling is Sarah, and she is over in Europe, I believe, at the moment, and she is pregnant. So actually, Daisy, you might remember Sarah Heller from your classes. I don't remember if you guys overlapped from a couple of years ago. But yeah, she's pregnant with her second baby at the moment. So any of the modifications that I'm making in class for pregnancy, you can do those modifications too if you want to. And note, they're actually harder to do it that way. So if you want to kind of like level up, do it the pregnant way because that's harder. But I'll let Kelsey introduce herself first, but I'll have each of you, I want you to tell me 3 things. I want you to tell everybody your name, your baby's age, or 2 babies if you've got 2 of them, or 3, and I want to know what time of the month it is for you. If you have any idea, maybe like you don't have to have a day, but just where in your cycle are you? Because I think that is a very important thing for us to keep in mind, and I'll explain why. So Kelsey.
Good morning. I'm Kelsey, and I have a beautiful daughter, Winifred Evergreen. She is almost 3 months old, and I am currently on my period, even though I'm breastfeeding. I don't know how this is happening.
Yeah, wow.
I know.
That started soon.
And it's funny because it's right on, like, I use the app, and it's like right on when I would have been starting, like, from a year ago.
Wow. Interesting. You are cycling with the moon, my friend.
Yep.
Thank you, Kelsey. And I'll hand over to Roz, who is next into class.
Hi, I'm Roz, and I have 2 girls, Nora, who's 6, and Rebecca, who is 3. And I believe I'm mid-month, mid-cycle.
So maybe ovulating?
Just past, I think.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you, dear.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooke?
So yes, I'm Brooke. I have 3 kiddos, 6, 3 and a half, and Taylor just turned 1. And today's the first day of school for the older 2.
Me too.
Craziness. And I think I'm on like day 8 or 9.
Okay. Thank you. And Stephanie, we can't see you just yet, but we probably can hear you. You there, Stephanie?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't see you. Must be in the dark.
Okay. No, I'm trying to figure out my QuickTime player if I have to open that for my camera to turn on. Good to learn these technical details, right?
Well, we can hear you. We just can't see your beautiful face.
Okay, well, I'll work on that. But yes, my name is Stephanie, and I have two boys. I have a 4.5-year-old, and then now, actually today, I think, is today tomorrow, a 21-month-old. And yeah,
Where are you at in your cycle?
Finished my cycle yesterday.
Just finishing your cycle.
Yeah. So.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
And Daisy.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm Daisy. I'm from Utah today. We just arrived yesterday. Part of our cross-country move to Florida. And I've got 2 kids, and one is 2.5. His name is Sky, and a daughter who's almost 3 months. I don't know where I'm at with my cycle, but I did have a period already from birth. So, and that was maybe a month ago. So I'm thinking I'm getting close. If I'm, if that was just kind of if my cycles are kind of irregular, just because I'm, still in postpartum and breastfeeding, or if it'll start again, like, a regular cycle would, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, you and Kelsey might be in sync then, huh? You guys can sync up your calendars. And Anaya, my goodness, honey, you are incredible. Anaya is never up before like 8 a.m. So this is a big deal.
Yeah, here I am.
So tell us about your kiddos and your cycle.
I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, 5.5 and 3. And my periods were really regular until like 2 months ago. And now I have period and like mid-cycle period too. So I have 2 periods a month. It's awesome.
Oh.
All of a sudden. So right now I'm expecting to get my period soon, but who knows? Everything's all kind of up in the air these days.
That sounds like a lot of fun, because we could all use a little more bleeding.
Yes, and more time being like premenstrual. Pissed, so.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Anaya. And Libby, can we hear you? I've unmuted you.
Oh, hi.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. Hi.
So Libby, you missed intro. So tell us how old your littles are and where you're up to in your cycle.
I have one son, he is 6, and in my cycle I just finished bleeding. It was a short bleed though. Definitely heard the tail end of that, wish I just had more time.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us too, Libby. What an amazing group of mamas. Like, just looking at you all here, just it brings me so much joy. So you're all going to be up on my screen here, where I'll be able to see everyone in like really big kind of high def. So what I would love for everyone to do before we get started is, if it requires you to stand up, I'm sorry, but could you stand up and point or put your hands on the part of your body that you either feel pain or feel weakness? What is it that you are wanting to work on? And so, for an example, I'm going to point at here. My left side of my sacrum is what tends to ache during ovulation for me, and that's because my relaxin levels are crazy high during ovulation, so everything's loose around there, and that's just the chronic place that flares up for me on the left side of my sacrum. So stand up, everybody at the same time, and let's all just like hold on and show the group where you want to work, and I want to see where it is that you're feeling it. Okay, so Kelsey in the low back and the abdomen, and Brooks in the both sides of the low back. You feeling it on both sides? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Daisy's feeling it on both sides, and Anaya's feeling it in the abdomen. Stephanie, I can't see you. Roz, it's right in the middle, like tailbone, and hip. Yep, your bursitis on the hip, and Libby's feeling it in the right hip. Okay, so I can see you. Check it out. And if you haven't done the assessment yet, that is going to give me and you a whole lot more information for us to reflect on at the end of the course. So take the 5 minutes, do it, and it could be really helpful. I'm also going to give you assignments to do over the next 7 weeks that we can use Facebook to do those assignments, or email. But little things where I'm going to just ask for you to check in and do a little bit of work midweek, or give you a little bit of kind of fodder to think about. And I would, there's like 5 things I want you to know before we get started, which is that no pain is no pain. So nothing we do in these classes should cause you pain. What I want you to experience perhaps is awkwardness or some sensation, but pain, no. And if you're feeling pain, please just raise your hand, because you will be on mute, and just give me that heads up. And we just need to pull back. Usually what we'll need to do is pull back your range of motion. So you won't be doing the move differently, you'll just be doing it in a smaller range. So rather than doing all that, you'll just be doing that. And we'll just gradually be working you out into a wider range. And with regards to pain, I want you to practice starting to think about other words for sensation. So things aren't good or bad. This is not bad. This is not bad. This is just information. So I want you to start kind of geeking out as we go through class, and I'm asking you, whenever I stop and say, okay, feel, I want you to check in with how you're feeling right now, and just look for different words in your vocabulary. It might be things like it feels hot, or it feels cold, or it feels sharp, or it feels angry, or it feels sad, or it feels heavy. There's lots of different words that I want you to start practicing labeling so that you get more information. And that brings us to the next point, which is when we move around and we feel where our hands are, if you kind of lift your hand up and move it around like this, you are experiencing proprioception. Okay, so proprioception is you can see and you know that your hand is up and moving around, right? That is proprioception, how we are in space. This program is going to help you tune into your interoception, which is how things feel on the inside. So you're going to be able to feel or learn how to feel when your transverse abdominis is switched on or not. You're going to learn how to feel when your multifidi, these little stabilizing muscles that connect your spine, when they are switching on. And you're going to have this ability to switch on some of these neural pathways and just kind of know what's going on inside your body. And then the other thing I want you to know is, tense equity is another theory I'm going to throw at you. And I know I've had 2 coffees, so I can say all these big words. I don't expect you to remember them all. But these are just some like big concepts that we're going to be working with. Tense equity, this idea that everything we're doing is going to be trying to move the body in all directions. So it's not us thinking, okay, it hurts here, so therefore I have to do work here. We're not going to be doing localized work. We're going to be thinking about breathing into and using our whole body, because it's all connected. And so many programs that tell you to work on your core and have you do 100 sit-ups are not taking into consideration that you also then stand up and walk around for the rest of the day. So just doing a bunch of core work in isolation is not actually helping to strengthen your body in its entirety. So we want to work with all of your fascia, all of your ligaments, all of your tendons. We want to get all of them working in like in an orchestra. So that's your whole body movement. And I want you to also, I'm very bossy, aren't I? I want you to keep in mind where your head is at through all of this. And you'll notice in the assessment, I've asked you to really kind of articulate how you feel about your low back, how you feel about your core and your abs. Because we know that there is a mind-body connection, and there is research that actually shows no correlation between pain and the way your anatomy shows up on an X-ray. So somebody could have a like bulging lumbar, like disc in their lumbar, and on an X-ray it looks like it must be excruciating, and they're not feeling anything. Or you might have severe pain and go have an X-ray and nothing shows up on the X-ray. And there's a doctor that has gone and studied these correlations and found actually there is very little correlation between perception of pain and actual injury. So I want us to be able to kind of think through where our head is at and the stories we're telling ourselves with regards to all of this work that we're doing. So let's be really optimistic and positive and love our body as much as we can. So that's my little rant to get us started, and to get you started, just sitting where you are. I'd like you to sit up nice and straight and be nice and comfortable. And I would like you to close your eyes and begin to arrive in your body. And begin to breathe through your nose. And we're all going to shh 5 times. And I want you to notice what happens in your belly when you do that. Shh. Now for your 6th shush, I want you to get halfway through it. Stop for a second, pause, but keep the belly engaged, and then really suck that belly in to finish the shh. So it's a final kind of shh after you have a little mini pause. Not holding the breath, but just feel that second part of your belly kind of engaging. And now that you're feeling nice and grounded, I'm going to invite you to lay on your back, please. And if you're Sarah and you're pregnant and you don't want to lay on your back, you don't have to lay on your back. I'd like you to just stay seated and notice as you get onto your back if you are feeling any pain or discomfort anywhere. Just notice, run a scan over your body and just notice. And then try bending both of your knees and putting the soles of your feet to the floor and notice how that feels. Run a scan. Does that feel better or does that feel worse? Do you like your legs straight or do you like them bent? Now I want you, and Sarah, you're just sitting comfortably on a cushion. I would like you to please bring your hands to your diaphragm. So that space just below your ribs. and you can bring one finger to each point of the lower part of your ribs, like where your diaphragm is right between your, actually, I'm going to take my shirt off, you guys, so that I can be extra, you know, sexy for y'all. Not sexy, you know what I mean. Just so that you can see what I'm talking about. So these are my little bony bits at the front of my ribs, and there's my diaphragm in between. So I want you to bring your hands to that part of your belly. And then as you're breathing in through your nose, I would like you to fill your belly from the top down and then from the bottom up. So diaphragm lifts first and contracts last. I can see you now, Stephanie. Oh, no, I can't. You're still dark. Now, what you're feeling as your ribs, can you feel for your ribs maybe spreading a little bit as you breathe in? They get a little further apart and then they get a little closer together. This is called your zone of apposition. And the wider your zone of apposition, and then the narrower it can get, is indicative of how well you are breathing. So feel the rib move out as you breathe in. That's how deep you're breathing in down here. You're not breathing in here. You shouldn't feel any rise and fall of the chest. It's all going down into the abdomen. It's not going here, it's going here. So ribs will move out as you breathe in, and then in as you breathe out. And if you're not feeling anything, maybe give it a little bit of help. Spread the ribs a little as you inhale, and then squeeze them together as you exhale. And if you're doing this right already, which I know you are, then you're probably already feeling a little bit of heat in this part of your body. Now, this is yogi's choice. You can choose to stay here on your back to do the next sequence, or you can stand up and do this against the wall if you're feeling super sleepy and need to be woken up, because Sarah is going to be doing it against the wall. So against the wall means sitting in a chair and squatting against the wall. All right, so that's how this is going to be for Sarah, and you're welcome to do it too, which is going to switch on your legs as well, get your heart rate going. But your choice, you can do all of this from the floor too. I know I'd probably fall asleep if I was on the floor. But stay where choose your space, and as soon as you're pressed up against the wall, notice that little arch in your lower back, just neutral spine. You're not trying to flatten your back against the wall or the floor. You've got that neutral spine, all right? And can go back into your abdominal diaphragmic breathing, please. Keeping the neutral spine. Feel the ribs separate and come together. And we'll make it a 2-part exhale now, which means breathing in sweetly through the nose and exhaling out halfway, pausing for a moment, and then finishing the exhalation by squeezing the belly in and up. And then inhaling slowly. And then exhale halfway. And then all the way. Give me a thumbs up if you can feel some heat in your belly already. Yeah? Okay, a little bit of heat. Awesome. We like heat. It means we got some energy. So let's do this a couple more times until you can feel how this feels. Geek out on where your ribs are. Can you squeeze them in a little tighter as you exhale? Double part breathing on the exhalation. If your legs need a break, let's give ourselves a little break. If you want to stand up and give your legs a little shake. And then we're going to set up for the next part. Either come down to the floor. If your legs have had enough and you're awake, just lay on the floor and do this with your legs bent on the floor. Otherwise, back against the wall, please. Back against the wall. And notice your neutral spine back is up against the wall. You're not trying to flatten against the wall or the floor, just neutral. And we're going to bring our hands out halfway. Notice what's happened to the arch in your back. Bring your hands up 3/4 of the way. Notice what's happened in your ribs. Have you started to splay out a little bit? Now come all the way up to the floor, to the wall behind you, and notice what's happened to the arch in your back. Come all the way down and back out of that pose for a moment, and just take a moment to just to observe what happened. Did you feel that you had to arch the spine more? Did your shoulders feel stuck? Did your ribs feel like they lifted out? And let's do it one more time. Nice one, Anaya. You've got the coffee. Like that's how yoga should be done, with coffee in hand. Seriously. So let's do it again. And I want you to only go as far up as your arch in your lower back allows. If the arch gets any bigger or you feel a need to flatten it, then stay there and then come back down. So your range, find your range at this point. When you find your range, stop there, and as you breathe out, do the 2-part breathing again. So belly goes in, exhale to lift a little higher. Exhale again, finishing the exhalation as you go a little bit higher. And then inhale down. And then exhaling up halfway. Re-engage the core, go a little bit further if you can, with the core lifted in and up, exhaling in and up, and then inhale, arms down. Let's do one more. And then inhale down and relax for a moment. Notice what you feel in your lower back. Notice what you're feeling in your belly. Can you continue this abdominal breathing even when you're relaxed? And we'll come down to the floor for a wheel, a different kind of wheel. Make sure your knees are padded over onto your hands and knees. And no hard floors, please. I want soft knees. And we're going to do our Chakravakasana, or wheel. Notice what I'm doing here I just want you to look at my shoulders. I'm letting my chest drop down, and then I'm going to press into my hands to lift my chest up. So it's this is like a yogi push-up. All we're doing is relaxing the shoulders and letting the chest fall down, and then pressing into your hands to lift the chest back up. And once you feel it's lifted up, can you check in now with your ribs? And have you got a little bit of a sway, or your ribs jutting out? Can you tuck the ribs up without tensing the belly? So ribs lift, belly's still relaxed. You're in neutral. If you're breathing down into your diaphragm, it's still able to expand and contract. It is soft and beautiful, but ribs are lifted. Tailbone is also lifted. So lift ribs without letting tailbone round. Tailbone lifts, ribs lift. Tailbone lifts, ribs lift. It all has to work together. And belly is soft in between. So now, once we're in that position, that's our kind of neutral, hands and knees. And then we're going to drop the tailbone down. Let your head kind of hang heavy. Let your elbows soften and come to the ground, rounding the lower back, sending the lower back to your heels. So you're in this really relaxed low back stretch. And then up to hands and knees. lifting the tailbone and lifting the ribs. And then dropping the tailbone as you exhale. Let your head drop down towards the floor and be really heavy, and roll back towards your heels. And then inhale forward. Not doing the traditional cat-cow. We don't want like this kind of jutting of the ribs. We want to keep those ribs lifted and tucked the whole time. The emphasis is on the dropping of the tailbone and sending it back to the heels. I love your tattoos, Libby. My goodness, it's so beautiful to watch your back move. Gorgeous. Really consciously moving forward without letting the ribs drop, keeping them lifted. And on your next round back, you can set yourself into a child's pose, so knees out wider than your belly, and walk your hands forward, let your head rest on the floor. And just notice where your rib cage is. Notice how it moves with your breath. Can you feel the back of your ribs expanding and contracting with your breath? Do you feel your shoulders moving? We don't want the shoulders moving. We want all of the movement happening down around your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is this organ that is at the exact halfway point, the midpoint in your belly. It connects your upper core to your lower core. It massages your organs. Every breath you take is helping with your digestion if your diaphragm is working. It's obviously helping you to take longer, deeper breaths, slower breaths, the more that your diaphragm is involved. That's why singers have to work on their diaphragm. And getting a strong diaphragm. So that's what we want. And here's the other reason your diaphragm is so important. And feel free to sit up if you want to, or stay in your child's pose. But the diaphragm is your Manipura chakra. You can bring your hands to your diaphragm if you want to. We've got the third chakra here. And if you're not a chakra person, don't worry. I'm not getting all woo-woo. This chakra is connected to your power, your authority, your discipline, your willpower, your sense of self. This is all here. And if this is feeling weak and not being utilized, then maybe, just maybe, you don't have to believe in the chakras. Could there be an energetic correlation there that you're not feeling as confident, authoritative, as like your strong self as you could be? So that's why we want to give this chakra so much love and attention. This is where it all starts and it all ends. So we're going to come down onto our bellies next, except for Sarah, because you got a little baby bump. But Sarah, if you are happy on your belly, then go for it. I'm not a fan of pregnant ladies on their bellies. So you're going to do it against the wall, Sarah. So come on down to set up for a cobra. So everyone's going to come down to the floor. Notice how you come down to the floor, everyone. Do you just kind of roll and drop your belly down? Can you lift your ribs and come down with a flat back, with a neutral spine? And once you're down, your hands are either sides of your shoulders. And Miss Sarah, you're doing this against the wall, just straight up against the wall, hands at shoulder height, belly up against the wall, okay? So we can all do our cobra together. So once you're down on your belly, let your head rest on the floor, tuck your chin in. Notice where your legs are, and can you zip them together? So can you rotate your knees out and your legs in? So there's an internal rotation there, and your legs are zipped together.
And can you check in now with your diaphragm, with your ribs? Can you tuck your ribs in and up and feel for that squeeze between the ribs at the diaphragm as you exhale? And so really set the core with your exhalation. As you breathe out, you can lift the belly, lift the diaphragm, squeeze the ribs together. And inhaling, you relax, but keep the ribs lifted. Now with those hands either side of your shoulders, we're going to now lift the head up on an inhalation. So exhale completely, set the legs, set the diaphragm, and then inhale to lift without losing that connection to the diaphragm. And then as you exhale, head back down. And Sarah, you're doing all of this against the wall, pressing into the wall, inhale, creating a mini arch in your upper back, but keeping the core contracted. And then exhale back down. And we'll do the 2-part exhale next. Inhaling up. Trying not to press your hands into the floor. Can you keep your hands maybe lifted by like a millimeter off the floor? And then exhale halfway down. Exhale and then the rest of the way down. Let's do this about 3 more times with your breath. So as slowly as you possibly can. Keep the chin tucked, Raz. I know you want to look at me. So keep the chin tucked. And do the 2-part exhale. If you're feeling any achiness in your lower back, I'm going to guess that it's because you're not able to engage that diaphragm muscle. So we want you to really squeeze those ribs up and in together as you exhale. And keep that connection even as you inhale. And if it's still aching, don't go up so high. Once you've finished the 3 rounds, relax. Just let the backs of your hands rest on the floor. Let your head, maybe one side, one ear lies on the floor, the other ear. And just notice, have your multifidi woken up yet? There's a little ladder of these little tiny tendons that wrap around your lower spine. And these little stabilizing muscles are so important for our back health, and we very rarely engage them properly. Just notice, can you describe how your lower back feels to yourself? Is it warm? Is it loose? Is it tight? None of these things are bad or good. They just are. It's just information. Okay, so we're going to take it up a notch now. Coming back into your cobra setup, hands by your shoulders, forehead on the ground, or if that feels really weird for you, you can always put a block or a blanket out in front of you on your forehead so that your nose isn't squishing into the ground. But either way, chin is tucked. And we're going to both bring the head up and we're going to bring up the left leg. So head comes up on an inhale. And then left leg comes up. Keep that internal rotation of the leg there, squeezing together. Point the toes behind you. And I'm going to show Sarah what she's doing. I'm pretty sure she's clever enough to figure it out. But take your feet away from the wall and then lift the left leg up and arch the upper back. But keep the ribs tucked in. And then bring the left leg down and the head back down to the floor. And let's do the other side. Head lifts on an inhalation after you set the abs and left leg lifts. Keep it tight. And then lower it down to the floor. And just take a minute to notice, where did you lift from? Did you lift from your glutes or did you lift from that beautiful set of muscles called your multifidi? Do it. Let's do it again. Your mid to low back is what's lifting you here. So tuck in those ribs and lift the leg up. And then left leg drops down, head drops down. One more time on the other side.
And then rest. And we'll do our wheel again, please. So back up to your hands and knees. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, neutral spine. Drop the tailbone round back, head drops down. And then lifting the tailbone without arching the spine, without dropping the ribs. I'm just going to watch you to make sure you're really rounding that lower back. I do want you to feel kind of a tug on your superficial back line. There's a fascial line that for your fascia runs from the top of your head all the way back to the top of the back of your feet. And that whole line of fascia is being stretched as you drop the tailbone and round the lower back. And that requires you to really relax the upper body and let your lower back drag the upper body back. So it's not, your upper body is completely passive, which if you're like me and have done years and years of cat-cows or chakravakasanas, it's hard to actually relax those upper arms. I want to watch Libby do it. Let's see. Really relax the arms, Libby. Just drop your head down. Drop, yeah. Like really passive upper body, making it heavier. And Sarah, I'm assuming you're down on the ground doing these as well. You don't get out of these ones when you're pregnant. And then stop in a child's pose and just notice. And then rolling over onto your back, please. And this is a back pose that I'm comfortable with you doing. Sarah, we're only going to be here for a moment. So come down to your side and then roll onto your back. Bring your hands to your knees and squeeze in your knees as you exhale. And then inhale, move your knees away from you and your arms straighten. Exhale, it's kind of like you're a bellows. You're squeezing the air out and then inhaling to fill back up again. So in towards your chest and then away from your belly. Relax your head on the ground, Libby. Yeah. Hold the tops of your kneecaps or the front of your kneecaps. That's a nice way to do it, yeah. Move the knees away and then squeeze them in towards your belly. And Sarah, you can go wider, obviously, if you feel like baby's getting too much of a hug right now. Just notice what's happening with your breathing. Are you normalizing this diaphragmic breathing yet? Or have you forgotten to do it in this pose? And soles of your feet come to the floor, setting up for a bridge pose. And we're doing exactly the same work that we were doing at the wall before, but we're going to do it on the floor. And we're going to lift the hips up just a couple of inches off the ground and then lower them back down again. Inhale, relax the lower back. And then exhale, press up, pressing into your feet and hips lift off the ground, just a couple of inches. So the exhale is moving up, the inhale is moving down. Exhale up, inhale down. And if you can roll the spine down as you're rolling down, that would be really cool. So lift the tailbone lifts as you exhale and press up. And then inhale, roll the lower back down. See if you can roll down through each vertebra and your tailbone lands last on the ground as you inhale without finishing with your ribs lifted. So keeping the ribs contracted and pulled down even as you relax the belly and roll down to the floor. Keep those ribs pulled in, but relax the belly and come to the neutral spine. And we're going to add on hands now, so let's just rest in the bridge pose for a minute. And we're going to be doing what we did earlier with hands going up and over the back of the head, with hands pressing on the ground, back of the hands on the ground, and then back down towards your sides. So just in neutral, can you notice if your arch in your back changes, and where does the arch change? Stop at that halfway point for you, and then go a little bit further with your exhalation. Keeping the ribs drawn down and together. And then adding on the lifting of the hips. So hips lift up as you exhale halfway, arms come up, and then exhale all the way, hands come all the way up over the top of your head. Keep those ribs pulled in, and then inhale as you bring the arms back down to the floor and the hips back down to the floor. Relax. And then exhaling back up again. If you want to take a breath in once you get to the top, and then breathe out as you come back down again, you can kind of take it up a notch by doing it that way. Make it a little more hard. So the whole movement up and down starts and ends with your diaphragm. Yes, your feet are pressing into the floor. Yes, your arms are moving, but notice how your diaphragm is connecting your upper and lower body. Let's hold the next bridge with your hips up, arms up over your head, breathing normally. But what does normally mean? It means neutral spine, but ribs tucked in, and you can feel for your diaphragm spreading and coming closer together. Your zone of apposition spreads out and contracts. If you can't feel that without your hands on it, feel free to bring your hands down to your belly. Get that proprioceptive feedback. We get the external feedback a few times, and then soon we know that we have that interoceptive awareness where we don't need the hands on, or we don't need that physical feedback to tell us that we're working. And hips back down. We'll do Apanasana again. Hands to the tops of your kneecaps. Squeeze knees in as you exhale. And inhale, knees away. You can draw some circles with your knees on the ceiling if you'd like, massaging out your sacrum. I love all the animals walking around in everyone's houses. Brooke with her cat, and the nice dogs are up now. And then roll to your side, please. And come back to your hands and knees for wheel pose. Again, yes, we're doing it again. We're going to get the hang of it and get it really good. So really emphasize rounding the lower back as you send a neutral upper back. And then engaging the tailbone, lifting it up. pressing into your hands to lift the chest without arching the spine. So Roz, I think you can even relax your upper body more as well. So you're getting a lot of the rounding is happening up here or around the mid. So if you can, this can be neutral, and that is where the rounding happens. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah. Nice reaction. And finish in a child's pose just to feel. Your head doesn't want to relax, Roz. I can see you holding the neck up. Yeah. Notice how your belly feels in this relaxed posture, completely surrendered. Is there a difference in your breathing from the beginning of class compared to now? Can you feel those the diaphragm kind of lifting your core with each breath out? You're working against gravity right now. And we're going to roll to our side and then onto your back. Or if you're wanting to bring your legs up the wall, that's a really nice option right now as well. This is your Shavasana. This is where you integrate. And Sarah, you could lay in flapping fish if you'd rather. But if you're going up with your legs up against the wall, you'll have a bolster or something up under your sacrum. That can feel really nice with your legs up. Or on a chair, your feet can be up on a chair, or just flat out, mama. Flat out. But notice we cue in yoga a lot to let your feet kind of really flop out wide. I'd like you to bring your legs in a little closer, because if you've got low back sacrum stuff, we want your legs a little bit closer. Nice one, Daisy. Legs up the wall. And Kelsey's got her legs up on the bed. That's one of my favorite places in the world. And go back to your diaphragmic breathing. Hands can be on your belly if you still want that proprioceptive feedback. Or the backs of your hands could be resting on the floor up above you, opening the chest. And keep working on that abdominal breathing even as the rest of your body completely relaxes. Feel for a soft belly. We want our bellies to be soft. We don't want to be a Barbie doll. We don't want to have a rock hard abs. Yes, it would be nice to maybe look like we have that washboard flat stomach. Maybe that would look good, but is that functional? Do we want our center, our core, our Manipura chakra to be stiff, to be hard and rigid? We want it to be strong and supple, flexible, responsive. Now, an exercise for you to practice for 5 breaths is to, as you exhale, hi, Obi. Obi's coming in for some yoga. Love it. As you exhale and bring the belly in towards the spine and bring the ribs together, hold it there as you inhale. So the belly is soft, but the ribs don't move. And then as you exhale, draw it in a little tighter, a little closer to the spine. And then inhale, don't let it move. Exhale, tighter, closer into the spine. Inhale, don't let it move. We're just doing this for 2 more breaths. Exhale, tight in towards the spine. So you are going to feel the breath moving up into the chest with this particular breath. 1 more, and really squeezing the belly in towards the spine, the ribs moving together. And then relax. Notice how your core feels, your lower back, your mid back, the dog licking your face. Is your lower back hurting, Brooke? Or are you just giving it a little massage? You're okay. It's a bit sore. Okay. So bending your knees is exactly what you're doing, exactly the right thing. Bend both of your knees and roll to your side, please. And come up to your bum. Everyone's still here. Sitting comfortably. You can have your knees bent, or you can sit on your knees or knees straight, whatever. And just feel, just notice. Maybe you want to go back to bed, and that's okay. Or maybe some of these movements are going to be the perfect thing for you to do in bed before you get up in the morning. Hello, beautiful. I see a little dolly awake. I encourage you each morning this week to, when you open your eyes or your alarm goes off when you wake up in the morning, bend your knees after you've done your stretch. Bend your knees, stay in bed, and just do your belly breathing for at least 10 breaths. If you can do it for 5 minutes, I guarantee it is going to bring up your energy levels throughout the day. What you're doing with that breathing is getting your CO2 to oxygen levels into a better balance. And we can talk about that at length another time. But most of us have too much CO2 going on in our body. And so we want a nice long exhalation. Emphasis on the exhale. And then slow inhale. We need less oxygen than we think we need. All right, so it's that act of the exhalation that is going to bring your energy levels up throughout the day. So I hope you're feeling really awesome and you're ready to get on with it. You're hopefully going to feel this throughout the day, and I want you to choose at least one thing. So waking up in the morning throughout the week with that breathing of 10 times as you wake up. Maybe each time you get into the car or each time you get to a red light, do 5 rounds of that breath. Perhaps while you're, before you eat, each time you have a meal, stop, breathe like that 5 times, and just keep going back to that diaphragmic breathing. That's all you have to remember for the week. And next week, we're going to get more complex with some of our movements and integrate that breathing into some harder stuff, but not too hard, just morning stuff. So have a wonderful day, you guys. Is thumbs up? Any questions? Does anyone want to stay on the line to ask any questions, or are we all going to check out? We're all good? Oh yeah, Daisy wants to ask questions. So feel free to check out, you guys. I'm gonna check in with Daisy. But if you want to say bye, 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 bye. Okay, let's. Okay. Let's see. Let me get my chair. How's it feeling, Missy?
Oh, I mean, good. I think it feels really alien to me. So I like have most of the time I was just trying to like figure out what I'm trying to switch on, or the thing that helped, like the first right off the bat, the shh thing, like I could do that, and I could like, oh, that's how my and then always having to have like my hands to like. So really, the breathing you want us to be really doing is out and in, right? I mean,
exactly. So out as you inhale, in as you exhale.
And should that be what should be the lower belly doing at that point?
It should just be relaxed. I mean, you can breathe in here, and then this will expand as well. So I'll show you from the side. Kind of, this is breathing in, and this is This is where I'm breathing, but this is going to fill, and then I'm going to exhale and draw that in and close that. So you can think about it in two. There's kind of 4 quadrants here. There's 4 places to work with. So we were just isolating here, but next week we're actually going to come further down and do some work down here as well. But we were just isolating here for today.
Okay. I mean, I was focusing here, but then when you started saying belly breathing, I was like, oh wait, am I supposed to be doing something lower or just focus right here? So.
Yeah, we're just in this part of the belly right now.
Okay.
We will start doing more to turn these guys on as well.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that the assignment I had was correct. It's about the spreading the ribs and then pulling together in the exhale. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I might have to do my hands for a while before.
Most of us do. Most of us definitely do. I have a teacher that I always want to do this, and that my teacher always reminds me, bring both hands up here, and then you can feel it. Look in the mirror, and you'll notice it spreading. Yeah. Are you using your fingers to pull it, or are your fingers just moving?
Now they're just moving, but before I was definitely pulling.
Yeah, and we need to sometimes do that a few times just to like teach our body the direction that we want it to move, because many of us actually breathe in and do it the opposite way, which is usually associated with a childhood trauma. If you're finding it hard to breathe in and your diaphragm expand, that's going to just take a lot of kind of training to remind it to open when you inhale as opposed to close when you inhale. So if you can think about like a childhood trauma or something that scared you perhaps as a baby, like when you're scared, you go and you kind of like suck in your breath. And we kind of have this tendency to hold our breath and not breathe when we're stressed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I just normal breathe, it's all happening lower, or up in my chest or down low. So like this diaphragm breathing, it's like, that's why I was thinking it's foreign to me because I don't think I use it. So I just wanted to check in to make sure I was doing it properly so I could work on that.
Yes, that's the first level. And then we won't ever do any breathing here, but we will send the breath deeper into the transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor in the next couple of weeks. We'll just for now focus on feeling the ribs expand, feeling the ribs contract. Just learn that.
Okay.
Because it's foreign and it's awkward. And I have, for example, one of the times of the day that I notice that I go into habitual patterns is whenever I'm making a cup of coffee. My coffee machine is in a corner. You've seen my kitchen, right? I've got it in the corner, and I often stand like this to make my coffee for some reason. and then I go into this weird kind of slump like this while I'm making the coffee. So I had to actually start turning and doing it the other way, which feels really weird. But then it forces everything to work properly. So just start noticing when you go into that kind of slump throughout the week, or something that you do all the time, can you just do it the other way? And that'll remind you to breathe.
Cool. Yeah. And all the back, kind of the rounding back, that definitely, like, that's where I'm feeling it. And so it was good to kind of like, I don't want to say stretch, but just kind of round it out. Yeah,
that's exactly what you were doing. And we only do that in these classes after we've done the opposite. So the reason it can feel so good is because we've already been doing like the work to like open up here. So it's like a counter pose, and it's like my teacher that taught me this program said it's dessert. Like it's the dessert that you give your body in between the work. Yeah.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much. Glad I can do this. And the kids didn't wake up. I was imagining that they were just
They're
gonna,
still on Pacific Coast time.
Yeah. So, but good. I mean, I'll be transitioning over, so this will be 7 a.m. and then 9 a.m.
Yeah. And so I am sending the block and the journal to Utah, right? You'll still be there next week.
Well, I'll show you the block that I have. Because now my mom has these little blocks, but they look kind of narrow to me.
Yeah, it's more narrow. That's a 4-inch one, or through there's a slightly narrower.
Yeah, these are pretty narrow than the one I have at home, packed up somewhere.
But your hips are wide enough. You're tall enough that I would actually have you putting both of them between your legs.
Yeah.
And just put them down a little lower, kind of in this part. And your hips are wide enough that that's probably not going to feel, and that's going to make it harder work for you, so that they don't fall.
So and then if you send me one block or two, I mean, we have room. I was worried that anyway. But if you think that
so let's wait. I'll send you the blocks once you get to Florida. Then I'll just send you the journal for now.
Unless you think that the orange ones are going to be better. Because we realize I do have more space. So your choice. I could take them.
Okay.
But if you think these are going to be good, then
I think they'll be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Lovely.
Great.
See ya.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
okay.
you too. Bye.